Okay, we are back. Episode 33. This has to deal with the Constitution. And I'm going to give you my shared experience about the Constitution. Also, anybody that knows me that last 20 years, I started this program, Life Skills TTP, the turning point, when I turned my life around 20 years ago. And the reason, because a lot of people say, "Oh, to make America great," all of a sudden, it's putting up the Constitution. Who was it the Constitution? Well, I'm gonna explain why I put it up. See, I'm not no bandwagon dude. I'm not no, I'm running with whatever. I experienced this. And so the Constitution is very important. It's one of the things that I taught in recidivism in the mass incarceration and prison industry complex is the main thing, the Constitution. Because they don't tell you when you get in trouble that they're going to use this. Now, in school, they probably run it by you or whatever. I'm going to give it to you. There is 27 amendments. The 27th Amendment was redacted, or it was revised in 1992. The 27th Amendment. And in this country, this is what they go by. A lot of people would know that you didn't get in trouble, you didn't get into stuff, it didn't apply where you was like, oh, I think this is an attack on us, right? But you have to know already that, we're the most targeted. So if you know that, and you know that when you get in the court system and you go through these things, that they're going to manipulate and twist especially the 13th Amendment, but just know that once this happens, you have no more rights. So you could be there and they'll just put you on a bus and say, hey, you going up to the Appalachian Mountains to cut down some... and your ASS is getting on the bus. So in 1995, was around the Tupac era, I was fully engrossed in the hip-hoppy. Tupac, 1995, just before he died. I was running around bumping Me Against the World. I had, now that I think about it, it was a serious brainwashing. And I got into some stuff. 1995. 1995. So I got into some things. And then I started to realize when I was in court and they were breaking down all this stuff in the fine print and how they were really looking at me like if I was a foreigner, terrorist, of something. You have to understand that these people that go by this, when they have people in front of them, and I don't care what shade of color you are. Now, see, back in the day, they had this thing where they were wrongly convicted. They were doing all of these things to a specific group of people. And this certain group of people don't know this. For some reason, they've been tricked about America. But if you were born in America, see, this is where I get confused with people. If you were born in this country, first you have to master English, and then you have to learn the Constitution. You have to learn the Constitution. It hasn't changed. They revised one in 1992. Everything wrote 1868. So this is the blueprint on which they go by. And that's why I put it up, because once I got into some stuff, I realized that number one, I have no rights. Number two, they can do whatever they want. And then number three, when it's all said and done, you are a second-class citizen and you are less than a human being, period. I don't care what you did, what you do. If they smack you with a number, you go into an automatic database. I'll give you an example. I have many skills. So I have carpentry skills. So I have many years of it. Now, yes, we started about $17 an hour. This, and that. Yeah, I see. No, we're not tripping off the fact you got trouble. We know that we're not. Uh, you're not tripping on it, but I'm tripping off the fact that you've cut me about $6 short, based on this, and based on the fact that I got in trouble. It's one of the things they ain't gonna tell you. It follows you for a very long time until you start to put stuff together consistently where they see, okay, yeah, he's back in society, he's being productive, his contributions or whatever, he's working, or whatever, he might be volunteer or doing whatever. But then I started looking at this, how can I make a difference locked up? I was brainwashed then. So yeah, you can't make a difference locked up, but you shouldn't get locked up. You shouldn't get locked up in the first place. So how can you make it? No, you can't. You can't make a difference. You can't make a difference. It's not possible. And so this week is a continuation of, like I told you, I did 1 through 14 constitutional amendments, and I did 15 through 27 of the constitutional amendments. This is highly important for anybody of a darker shade, or anybody that they know that either they've been a target or they've been targeted through this system. Because if you noticed, and I'll give you the breakdown of these things. In 1980, California had about 20 state prisons. 1980. 1985, California had around 22 state prisons. The number of prisons gradually increased in the following year due to rising incarceration rates and the need to accommodate a growing prison population. So here in America, we have a growing, but why do we have a growing prison population? Because we have all kind of government programs, agent programs. 1995. So from 85 to 1995, and this is why 95 is important, not only for the crap that I went through, but in general, because 1995, California had approximately 33 state prisons. So in 10 years, they built 11 more prisons. 1995, 33 prisons. And just so I was looking, just so I could check, today, I checked 2005, 33 prisons. And to put this all in perspective, the Constitution, in 1980, there were approximately 1,500 prisons in the United States. This number includes federal, state, local facilities. This prison population and the number of facilities have significantly increased due to various factors, including changes in law and sentencing practices. 1980. 1990, there were about 1,800 prisons in the United States. So there has been 300 more prisons put in the United States in 10 years. The year 2000, there were approximately 1,900 prisons in the United States. So it's going up. They added another 100 prisons in 2000. 2010. And this is why I tell you the Constitution, this is just data information. You can get it. Instead of coming and being like, oh, you're trying to do that. Well, what are you doing? You live in America. It's ridiculous. 2000, 1,900 prisons, up 100 prisons. 2010, 2,300 prisons. So 300 more prisons. What you don't understand about these, and this is why I get you these numbers, these statistical numbers, these are private prisons. So when these numbers go up, these are people that invested in the stock market, PIA, Prison Industry Authority. Like I told you, I spent many years on this. The people that I spent time on this, they never did nothing. I got 2 individuals who are solid, and they ended up doing nothing. The rest of them are with the program. They're with this crap. And the prisons and the jails and all of that stuff is full of them. They run this whole cycle, and if you get caught up in it, they'll spin you in it. Because a lot of these people can't do nothing. They're always looking for talented people, specifically nerds. So 1,900 and 2,000, and 10 years later, they added 400 more prisons. And these prisons in the United States, this number includes federal, state, local, correctional facilities. The increase in the number of prisons over the years has been driven by various factors, including crime rates, sentencing policies, and the overall growth of the prison population. Various factors. I'm going to give you the factors. The factors are called entities, institutions, programs, hip hop, academic, sports. I could name anything, but there's systems. And in these systems, there's a certain way you have to behave, move, or whatever. Because in these systems, this stuff always applies. Always applies. And so 2010 up 400. Here's the interesting thing, because I want to keep it fair. In 2020, there were approximately 1,833 state federal prisons in the United States. The figure reflects a slight decline in the number of facilities compared to previous years, influenced by various factors, including criminal justice reform and shifts in incarceration policies. Additionally, the overall prison population has been changed due to COVID-19 pandemic and other social factors. 2020, it's 2025. I couldn't get no statistics after that. We don't have no data. Check with this. They don't have any data. So from the pandemic, from 2020 till now, I can't get one for 21, 22. Basically the same thing. So if they don't have any statistics and the numbers, they don't know. They let 18 million migrants in here, and the facilities are filled up, and they don't know. And then because they listen to people, random people, they're not protected by this. Not born in the United States, not a naturalized citizen of the United States. And so they get all ruffled at the feathers at the fact, well, I'm here, I'm doing whatever like that. That's not my fight. I'm not in that. I'm just telling you about the Constitution. It's on the channel 1 through 14, 15 through 27. It's the blueprint that these people, these elite people, they go by. They know that the majority of average people are not going to read it. They're not going to understand it, interpret it. They're going to say they can do whatever they want. Well, you know, in a certain culture, they are, man, these people do whatever they want. I'm not going to do this and that till you get in trouble. And you're like, why are they giving me all this time? This crazy. They just they just attacking me because I'm black. Always talking to me, I can't. Okay, so if you know that, why do you behave like that? Because if you don't behave like that, you don't got to go through none of this. And that's what I mean, because I was one of those individuals where I kept saying, oh, this is a conspiracy to target. But no, I had to actually do something. Or what you can say you were tricked, you can say whatever. But mind manipulation and how they set the stage for certain things, you're going to need this. Because it's quick. It's quick. It's like lights, camera, action. The screen comes down. They just, next thing you know, you're in front of the judge. But you're not really the person that did it, that's involved. You were around. You was on stuff, alcohol and stuff, so you don't know. Everybody's saying, and these dudes, these people that with you, they in there pointing at you, saying you did it. You the only solid one. And you just like, what are they talking? I don't know nothing about that. They say, see, I told you he would say that. He wouldn't know nothing about it. 1995, this crack, Constitution, Tupac, Me Against the World, all running around, perhaps maybe thinking you gonna move to another country. Yes, we're targeted. Yes, there's certain things that are in place. Yes, all of that applies. Yes, but when people come to me, don't say nothing. If you haven't been through this, you have, and I don't care about people who studied it. See, this is my bread and butter. This is how I started this whole program. Many years ago, studying this stuff. And when I figured out that this stuff is not going to change, because look what happened. Remember they were supposed to close down some of the prisons? Well, I can't get the statistics after 2021, so they ain't shut down nothing. Matter of fact, they probably gonna need some more now. What's going on? They probably, you know what? What's a 10-year program that we can restructure, where we can build? And then individuals like us, we ain't with none of that. They don't need any more of that. Those systems have debilitated and ruined many communities, many cultures. They've hijacked and cloned everything. And you just have to know moving forward, especially in these next 4 years, you got to know this. You got to know all that stuff. This is how they going to trick you. This is how they going to put you. You're going to keep talking and saying, oh, they make up what they want because there ain't no reason for me to do that. Episode 33, the Constitution. What it means for them, and then how that applies to you. And knowing that is going to be a great help going forward if you are a rebellious one. If you're one of those demons. If you with the other stuff that ain't with health and safety, you probably need to know this. Yeah, just a little bit. So ain't nobody jumping on nothing. Like I told you, man, I've been doing this. And I do my research and I study and I do things before I pop out and before I show up anywhere. I'm all about change. And the only way that we're going to get to some decency is you embracing the fact that you're from America, you're American, and then knowing the Constitution. So I appreciate you hanging out. This Life Skills TTP, giving you a little information on the Constitution. Like I told you, check it out, 1 through 14, 15 through 27 is at the channel. I'll leave a link in this description so you can get it. But like always, I appreciate all y'all. I appreciate my subscribers. I appreciate you tapping in and episode 33, the Constitution, facts and receipts. Right, so I tell you, 1995. And the reason I do this, I show you the blueprint. The blueprint, I call it blueprint, I call it original, I call it creativity, I call it many things. I don't call it AI. That's why I bring this out. Old school. 1995. So what is it, 2025? So what do you think I could do now? But I'm saying 1995. That's the only reason why I do this. Episode 33, the Constitution. I ain't no bandwagon dude. 1995. You're in America. That's all I know. Constitution. Episode 33. What it is. Like I told you, receipts. Facts and receipts. 1995.